Hello, this is Earl Hebner. I'm on Inside the Ropes every Thursday night. Hope to be back again. Stay tuned. Thank all you folks, and can't wait to see all you fans. God bless.
And we're back on Inside the Ropes, and when you watch professional wrestling, if you think about referees, there is only one name that will come to mind. Controversy does not even begin to cover it. He's been part of the biggest pro wrestling match on network television with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. He was involved in the infamous Montreal Screwjob. He's tag teamed with The Rock. Did he screw Bret? We'll find out. We've got Earl Hebner on the line. Earl, welcome to Inside the Ropes.
Well, thank you.
Earl, we have to ask you about Montreal. You know, I'm sure it comes up in every interview that you do, but we've got quite a bit that we want to ask you about it, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the first question that I've got about it is, what were Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart like with each other backstage? Were they friendly? Were they civil?
Never had much to say to neither one had much to say to either one of them. They were like, I don't know the whole deal on them, truthfully, from start to finish, but they never got along. I think it was jealousy on both of them's part. Both of them thought they were better than each other.
And what was your relationship like with each of them?
I liked them both. I mean, I dealt with both of them, you know. I had no favorites. I was straight up with both of them, liked both of them, and you know, their personal problems or their ego problems or their problems, not mine. So I was fine with them either way. You know, I'd listen and talk and go over what I had to go over in the business with them, and it was great. I didn't favorize either one of them. I mean, it was a 50-50 deal. When I was in the ring with them, it was 50-50, up until Montreal.
When you heard that Bret was going to be leaving and he was going to be going to WCW, were you sad to see him go, or did you kind of think that it was the right move for him at that time? I
hate to see him go, but, you know, this business doesn't last forever. Your body don't last forever, so you go where you can make the most money. And I didn't dislike him for that. I mean, he had a good deal. And, you know, if you're making $1 million while you're working at it, and you're getting a $2 million bonus going somewhere else, just like any other sports entertainment in the world, football, basketball, or whatever it may be, you go while you're young and can make it. Personally, I thought it was a great move for him. And I was glad that he could get that much money and go.
You know, it's quite famous now. Bret's written about it in his book that he said that Shawn Michaels told him that he would never he would never let Bret go over him. He would never job to Bret Hart, and obviously Bret refused to do the job for Shawn Michaels in Montreal. When you heard that Bret didn't want to do the job for Shawn, what did you think about that when you heard it at first?
Well, here's the deal. I'll be straight up with you. Bret had plenty of time to drop that belt. Plenty of time. He could have dropped it in the United States and been fine. Whatever the bitterness was with them and those two, I mean, he'd have probably dropped it to me, other than Bret. I mean, other than Shawn. But the thing was, they had an ego, and he didn't want to do it, and time was running out, and we had, God knows, a year or more. I'm just saying a year, maybe a little bit less. He had plenty of time to drop the strap and drop it right. He didn't want to do it. If you remember, Londra Blaze went down there with our world's women's champion, threw the belt in the trash can. All right, now, if you got a $3 million deal at another company, why would you hesitate in dropping the strap in the right way? I mean, really, why? Your money's already guaranteed. You got $3 million when you walk in. So why work business as business? Drop it and go. Everybody put you over and made you what you are. A lot of guys put him over, made him what he is. So you're going to make the rest of your people that helped you to get where you are look like idiots? No, that's not fair. That's not right. So he could have dropped the belt, and it didn't even have to be in Canada. This business is a work. Any given night, if somebody don't want you to beat them, they're not going to let you beat them, period, whether it's a work or it's a shoot.
Do you think, looking back now, do you think Bret took the business too seriously?
I don't think he took it too seriously. I think he took it too personal. We made him the world's champion because we wanted to, or Vince wanted to. So then when you get it and you want to be selfish, it's called hold up. It doesn't work that way. You know, I mean, they gave you the belt, give it back. Give it to the next guy behind you or the next guy beside you or whatever. They can draw. If you're going somewhere else, don't embarrass our company for another company, especially when you got $3 million already in your hand.
And I wanted to ask you, you know, anyone that's watched the documentary, Wrestling with Shadows, there's the famous quote that Bret said that he'd spoken to you and you'd sworn your kid's life you wouldn't do anything. So I just wondered, could you talk us through that conversation with Bret and talk about what happened the next day?
I was sitting on a plane flying back with Bret. Very words. You won't count me out. I said, no, I will not count you out. If you keep your shoulders up, I will not count you out. Which I didn't count him out, right or wrong. Did he get 10, 1, 2, 3? No. So did I count him out? No. Okay. Now, you stop and think about, in my position, all the guys, Undertaker, Austin, Rock, everybody put them over as being a world champion, okay? Now think about this, and I could go on and on with names, okay? Macho Man, everybody. We made you what you are. You're leaving us, and you're screwing all of us because you don't want to drop the belt. You're embarrassing The Undertaker, Macho Man, Austin, God knows what, Rock, Owen, your own brother, because you don't want to drop the belt as a businessman, and you want to screw everybody that made you. So on my way to the ring, I was thinking everybody in the dressing room is going to get screwed by Bret, and it's not fair. It's not right. What's a little bit of inside information, and asked me what I do, what I did. I thought about it, and I didn't hear about it till about 2 minutes before walking to the ring. So that 50-foot walk to the ring, all that, a lot of thoughts ran through my mind. And at that time, I didn't know whether I was or whether I won't. And that's exactly how I put it to him. I can't tell you what I'm going to do because I don't know. It was a shock to me at that late in the show to ask me to do this. And as I walked to the ring, I thought about all the boys back in the dressing room. And I'm going, not only is he screwing Vince McMahon, which was not a big issue because I could care less about screwing him, I'm going, you're screwing all your fellow workers that made you what you are because you're being stubborn and stupid. So that was the outcome. What it was is what I thought about, and thought about everybody in that dressing room that puts on a pair of boots that made this guy what he is, and it wasn't right for him to screw 25 guys because of his stubbornness and his business role. So that's why I did what I did.
And who was it that asked you to do it?
That I won't say.
So you found out pretty much like 2 minutes before you were going out to the ring. So I mean, you only found out a couple of minutes before you went to the ring. Because obviously after the match, you rang the bell and then ran to the back, and then you got straight in a car and left. Is that right?
Right.
So, I mean, was that planned? Was the car ready for you to go? Was that sort of all planned out that you would jump in the car and go?
Nope. That was not planned. That was something that happened. Like I'm just saying roughly 2 minutes before. It was about 2 minutes before I went to the ring, and there was heavy thoughts in my mind. I did tell my brother that get ready to go. Let's get out of here because I don't know what's going on right now. And I didn't even have time to explain to him. When I left the ring, he was standing in the building, and I just said, "We gotta go. We gotta get out of here." And I explained it to him on the way to the hotel. So that was short notice. God knows who talked to me. Who else knew beyond me is a question mark today.
It seems, looking back on Montreal, that you kind of got a bit of a rough deal because Triple H and Shawn Michaels, who knew about it, denied any knowledge of it, and you kind of had to take the heat for it all. Did that ever bother you, that you had to take the heat for that incident?
The only thing I know is who I talked to. I talked to one person, and that was the orders from McMahon. But when McMahon walked to the ring with Sergeant Slaughter, regardless of whether I rung that bell or not, it was going to ring. In the sharpshooter, that bell was going to ring. The only thing made it official is that I motioned for the bell, but it was going to ring anyway. If I had never motioned for it, it still would have rung.
And there's a rumor that Undertaker and Ken Shamrock and Mick Foley were really angry about it and they wanted to kind of walk out. Is there any truth to that?
Undertaker was pissed, and when all said and done, the next day at I think it was Ottawa, where we had another show, Undertaker was behind me 100%. On the decision that I made, Undertaker was with me 100%.
And when you went to Ottawa the next day to TV, was there any negative reaction to you at all?
No. We had a meeting with all talent. This man called a meeting, and everybody was with me 100%. They actually applauded me and appreciated what I done.
Do you think that, obviously, I mean, it was an unfortunate situation, and after the Survivor Series, the WWF did the angle where Shawn Michaels brought out the midget Bret Hart and, stamped WCW and chucked him out the ring and stuff. And then Vince coined the famous phrase, Bret screwed Bret. Did you think it was a good idea to use that all as an angle?
No. Well, you know what? As time went on and the way the tables turned, it could have been a work.
Do you think it was a work?
McMahon and Bret and WCW, it could have been a work for all of them. My thoughts are, they're all crooks.
Do you think it was a work?
I'm going 50-50 on that. I think it was, but I can't say for sure. But look where Bret is now and whatever. Who knows?
After this had all happened, and obviously you said that the next day at TV everyone was behind you and supportive, did you try to contact Bret?
I didn't talk to Bret until about a year later. Saw him in the airport in Charlotte, North Carolina. I said, let me tell you what happened. He said, I don't want to hear your shit. I don't want to talk to you, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And it was done. He did talk to my brother. I said, okay, then that's fine. And later we went back to Calgary where he lives, and he came down to the show, and we had a show there. And we sat and talked for a few minutes and swapped this and that and the other, and then we were fine. As far as today is, I'm assuming we're fine. We were then, and he understood what I had to do and whatever it was, and we were cool.
Were you surprised that Bret went back and did the storyline with Vince in 2010?
Well, see, that's what you call. That's why I say I'm going 50-50 on the business, because it makes me sort of feel like it was a work. I mean, here's a man that you destroyed his TV equipment, you beat him up, you left him with a black eye, and whatever it was, and then all of a sudden you're working for him again. Does that make sense? And you went with another company, and you wouldn't drop the strap, and now I'm giving you a job back again after all that bullshit that we went through.
Errol, obviously now in TNA, the fans still chant to you, you screwed Bret, and you've got the gimmick with the T-shirt saying yes I did. Do you kind of have fun with that at live events now, when you can kind of make light of it a little bit?
Well, the shirt's working good for me. It's working excellent, especially when he went back to work for Vince. My business has tripled. So that's great. I mean, that's one good thing that worked out for me. Regardless of what happened, whether it was a work or a shoot when he left and came back or whatever, but it sure is up my income. So I'm happy for him.
There was one other rumor about Montreal that I wanted to ask you about. When Bret went back to the WWE in 2010 and he did the program with Vince McMahon and they had a match at WrestleMania, there was a rumor that the WWE tried to contact you and get you to be involved in that storyline. Is there any truth to that?
I'm going to leave that a secret. I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to say no. I'm just going to leave it a secret.